ask you about the artery and vein on. So you got to be able to recognize it as the artery and vein. Oh, we got a lot of scratches on these. All right, so here's the overall. Everybody can't see it, move to someplace you can. These are the three structures we have in there. We only have really one artery. Where is it? Which one is the artery?
Fat one?
The big fat one, that's right. So remember that in the artery, the tunica media was the largest layer. And so the muscle layer is going to be the thickest in the artery. So these other two, we could say, are veins. They're a little bit thinner. They're also not quite a circle. So veins don't have that nice circular shape to them. So they're more irregularly shaped. So let's just focus on these two right here, because the other one will be the same. So we have three layers. Okay, so first off, you have to know that this one was the artery, that's not very bright, and this one was the vein, and then the whole thing, not just the blood inside. And then the three layers. So we have the tunica, we'll start from the outside. Tunica externa, or the adventitia, where is that going to be? Okay, the outer side. So it's kind of this stuff that's kind of sloughing off right here at the very edge. So if the pointer was at the edge right here, then you would choose tunica externa, or maybe adventitia. And then if the pointer was in the middle here, you would choose tunica media. And if it was pointing kind of toward, from the lumen upwards like this, that would be the tunica intima. What do I have on there? Interna?
No, she
I thought it was intima. But that's all right. Okay, intima. Oh, the big paper. I got you. This thing has interna. So either one. I got you. So tunica interna, tunica intima is the innermost layer from the lumen. So the innermost one, lining the lumen. And it's over here too. So it would ask, what layer is the pointer on? And then you would choose from the multiple choice answers, either tunica media, tunica intima, tunica externa, on there. So again, you need to make sure you know that's artery and vein and where those layers are found. So same thing over here. You just ignore all the blood that's in here. It's just all blood. So you just focus on the layers. So tunica externa on the outside, tunica media on the middle, and then the intima or the interna right here. So questions on the artery vein slide? Okay. Next up, is it lingual or submandibular? Submandibular. All right, submandibular, we only have three things we have to know on this thing. But again, the hardest thing is to know that this is submandibular that we're looking at. So here is the, again, sorry about all the little flaky stuff on there. I'll have to clean these ones. All right, so we have the, actually that might be on this slide. Okay, so let me get to a place where we can see all three. Well, I can see all three right now. But here's the kind of the reduced magnification. I'm going to go one up. Maybe you can see a little bit better. I'll increase the light. Now, questions are always asked, well, what magnification is it going to be on? It's going to be on the magnification for you to best see the structures. So don't pay attention to the magnification, pay attention to the structures on here. Another thing is don't always pay attention to the colors, because the colors may not be the exact same colors on the test slides. These are not the test slides. So these are just the slides that we get from the companies. They're close, but no guarantees. So there's three things. So in the submandibular, we're going to have the majority of the cells being what's called the serous acini. Okay, going on there? Okay. So the serous acini is kind of the background of this all. So in the background of the picture here, we see a lot of this stuff. That's the serous acini. So all of this, all of it, all the background is the serous acini. The mucous acini, to me, mucus is clear, kind of lighter in color. So the mucous acini are these fewer blobs of cells. And they are lighter in color. They're going to be staying there. They should always be a little bit lighter than those serous acinis. But all of these are mucous acinis. And those little purple dots, or the dark dots, those are just the nuclei of the cells. Don't worry about those. So all the mucous acini. The last thing you have to know is the salivary duct. Now, every time there's the word duct, think of a circle of cells, because that's what you're going to be looking for. You're looking for a circle of cells. Now, it may not be a nice symmetric circle, but it's a continuous circle of cells. So any of these circles of cells, here, over here, up here, any of these would be our salivary ducts. So all of that in that area, all of this. So any of those are the salivary ducts. So again, there's three things you have to know. The serous acini, which is all the background. The mucous acini, which is the smaller clumps of cells. And the salivary ducts, which are the circles of these cells that form the duct. Now it's up to you to be able to recognize this as submandibular. That's where you have to come in. Okay, we're going to switch to another salivary gland. It's the sublingual. It's got one change in the names. Instead of the serous acini, we're going to be looking for something that's called the serous demilune. And the demilune looks like a crescent, like a crescent-shaped type thing. So let me show you what it is on the lowest power. Oh, forgot about that bright light. To me, this one looks like the brain. And just don't even ask why. But it looks like the brain to me. Like a little cross-section of it. Anyway, so that's how I recognize this as, oh, this is sublingual, because it looks like the brain. So here it is on the higher magnification. I'm going to have to go to another higher magnification for you to really see those serous demilune as well. But in this particular one, it's not that there is no serous acini, it's just that there's not a whole lot of it, so we don't focus on that one. So instead, it's going to have a lot of mucous acini, which is what all of this little gray matter is. All of this is the mucous acini. Now, do you see a salivary duct in here? Yes. Okay, fairly obvious, right here. There's also a smaller one off to the side here. You probably call that little one. Some of that circle of cells right there. But definitely this, and definitely that. These other ones, you see these openings down here, these aren't circles of cells. So those aren't ducts down there. Those aren't anything for what we need to do.
So the first one, the mucus is...
Mucus is just all of the gray matter. We're getting there.
Okay.
So the majority of the sublingual is mucous acini. And maybe you can think of, oh, your tongue and mucus, I don't know. Something to help you out there to figure out, oh yeah, sublingual.
Where's the crescent?
We're getting there.
Okay.
Find you a good one. All right, so I like to think of these as little caps on the mucous acini. They're like little beanies, little beanie-shaped things on there. So here's our mucous acini, and here's a little cap. This one little cap is a serostimulum. That little cap there is a serostimulum. This little cap here is a serostimulum. That little cap there is a serostimulum. So anywhere you see these little caps on the mucus acini, those are serostimulants. That's what they are. So these little caps on here, they're not always easy to see on the mucus acini, so we try and get one that you can actually see very well. And there's a good picture of a what? A what? What is this? Salivary duct. And then again, this would be our mucus acini. And there's a little serostimulum right there off to the side. So again, you just need to make sure you know that this is the sublingual. Okay, the last one I put down for tonight is the tooth. So here's the base of the tooth. Work our way up here. Here's the middle point. And here's the top. So for the tooth, there's a few things that are separated out. There's 3 areas that you'll be asked, or could be asked. So it would be, what's the area at the end of the pointer? So the areas are the crown, the neck, and the root. So the crown is going to be the top part here. So you see this little wing, this is the gingiva out here. So really anything above that gingiva area, so anything from here up, is going to be the crown. It's really what we would see above the gum line. That's the crown. The neck would be any place in the gingiva section, so this neck area right here. And then the root would be anything that's down here in the bone. So this is the bone, we'll get to that in a second. But anything down in here where you can see the bone, that's the root. So if you see the bone, it's the root area. If you see the gingiva, that's the neck. If it's above the gingiva, that's the crown. Now, as far as the parts, the majority of the tissue in the tooth is the dentin. So all of this is dentin. All this gray, but all the majority of the tooth in here, that's all dentin. This would be the, what do you think that is? The pulp cavity. So we have some vessels in here. You would have nerves and blood vessels and lymphatic and whatnot in the pulp cavity. And sometimes you'll have a slide where this extends all the way down this way, and that's okay. These are just cross sections, so not every slide is going to look the same. Then the gingiva, again, was out to the side. That's the big wing of just tissue. We have our stratified squamous right here. You have to know that, but that's what that is. But this is all gingiva. And then down in the bone section, we have some layers that you're going to have to know. So this over here is the alveolar bone, and it goes all the way down. So you can kind of see some bone characteristics here. So that osteo sections. So